G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear's shed. I'm just just checking I turned my sound on properly. Look, the weather report, it's blowing its arse off. It's 16.8 degrees right now, which is Wednesday morning. Look, it's about 11:30. It'll get to 19 maximum and 7 overnight. 7 overnight's a bit nipply for us fellas up in Queensland. Nice clear skies with the wind, no frost, but oh, it's bloody chilly, and which is all right, I suppose. Yeah, once you have the seasons, once you have the seasons come through, it is good to actually feel a bit of winter and a bit of summer and all that sort of thing. So, but yeah, it's blowing 32 km/h winds at the moment, and I didn't get the stew done yesterday because I had 4 attempts and just went to shit, really. Yeah. So yeah, I started off early in the morning and started doing the stew, and I hadn't turned the sound on properly, so there was a it was a red flashing light, so I went and done that. And then Jay, I just got going again. Then Jay from Capricorn, our Capricorn cooperative rep, he rang me for a yarn for half an hour, so I thought, rightio, get back going again, got the whole show on the road. And my mate Laurie from the club rolled in. He's having trouble with a liner puller. He's trying to do an engine on a 30-20 and pull the liners out and get it ready for our rally, but look, I don't think it's going to make it, this one. But anyway, got to keep working on it. And the and so he was here for, I'm not sure, probably an hour, say, and I got the puller that he'd borrowed and the thread was buggered, so I rerun the thread and gave him an extra bit of threaded rod with a hex on the end, just to try and get Laurie going. So, so that was all right. But while he was here, grandson Arrow, he'd come up the shed to spend some time with me, so he was buggering around, hitting things and doodling about. And I've got a remote control car, a Jeep Ute, with the top over here, the charger and batteries here, the bloody main drive train here, shit everywhere. And anyway, so I have to clean that up. But yeah, I got that on. Then there was another phone call come through for the club. And in the end, I thought, up this, I'm just getting nowhere. And I had the throw-out bearing come in from the States for the Farmall 100 row crop here. And I thought, look, I just got to get this bloody thing done, get the engine back on and the front axle in, because look, I just didn't want it just to start stalling. And I knew the young grandson Arrow, he wanted to go fishing this morning. And so I knew I wouldn't go fish, I wouldn't be in the shed this morning because we were going fishing. So anyway, so we got the fishing stuff ready. Then, this morning we had the pest control fella getting the house sprayed for ants and white ants, just getting it all checked. It appears it's fine, but just one of those things. So then Arrow and myself went fishing down at Riverview, and Riverview's near Elliott Heads. And last time we went, I think I caught about 5 little bream. Arrow caught a nice big bream and a few grunter, and we had a good time. We went down this time, and I sort of knew it was going to be shit. Just the wind was blowing, it was bloody cold. The wind was coming this way and the tide was going that way, so it was chopping up the buggery. And anyway, I caught a bream for probably so long, and Arrow caught a couple of toadfish just playing. So after a few hours of that, probably about 10:30, the wind just picked up. Like, it was windy. I was sitting behind a post a little bit, and look, it was bloody windy. And well, about 10:30, this wind picked up and it just got cold. And I said, up this, let's go home. And for once, normally I can fish with Arrow for about 4 hours, and I say, come on, we're going home, and he'll be whinging, let's stay here a bit longer. But we didn't do that today. He was happy to come home, which was good. So we've come home, I've got the fishing gear out. His fishing rod's up at the house, and we're making him, wash it down now and rinse the reel and all that. We're making him go through all that. My reel, look, I'm a bit slapdassy with that. I usually rinse it in water, but I noticed this time it's a bit harder to turn, so I probably need to pull that apart. I have been looking at buying a new one. My 7'6" fishing rod is that old, it's a Rex Hunt one. So, look, those of you in Australia will remember Rex Hunt's fishing. You know, give the fish a kiss and put them back in. And I bought 2 7'6" rods then, and I bought a little Daiwa rear drag reel for it. And look, I don't know, they must be 30 years old if they're a day. The rods aren't too bad, they're looking a bit shabby, but that's all right. And but yeah, the reel was just getting firm today. So anyway, and I forgot to have some leader in the, you know, usually say you have a 6 pound line, usually put a 10 pound leader down to the hook, you know, just to, you know, even a 20 pound, whatever you got, doesn't matter. And away we went. So thus I haven't got a work shirt. Oh, this is my old Queensland Tractor Spares work shirt, and they're like a nylon-y thing, and they're shit in summer, but in winter they're not half bad. So, but this was our standard uniform. Got my name on in case I ever forgot, in case Alzheimer's sets in, then the phone number and all that sort of stuff over there. So this must have been the early one because it's still got the John Deere as green and yellow before John Deere got onto us and made us change the colour to red. So anyway, with the farm all, look, last week I was just with the sandblaster going. I spent days in the sandblast cabinet, just any little bracket like the rear light bracket, the seat supports, the mud guards, the bonnet, the nose cone. I've got a couple of repairs going on with the nose cone. I have shit everywhere. You come in the front door there and there's bonnets and panels and bloody rubbish everywhere. I'll try and clean that up if I can. Then Sunday, Monday, we had showers here and it was just a cold, shitty day. And so I decided to make some of the club signs that I was doing. Now, I was showing Big Bad Laurie yesterday what I was up to here, and I got no idea what I bloody done with it. But anyway, what I've been doing is signs for the rally, and you can buy this composite sheet, black on the back, white on the front. You can get white each side. And I've been using a 60-degree router bit to do those letters. And look how crisp that is. It's bloody lovely. Anyway, yeah, that's how they should be. And that's a sign when you come off University Drive so that the exhibitors know to head left, and the public car park for the public is right. You see that there? Yep, you can. Good. I'm a bloody good YouTuber, right? And anyway, as the day went on, the edge went off the tool, and what I'm using is a 60-degree carbide router bit. And I'll just see, hang on a second. Where are you? I'm back. That there. I've been using that there. And I have a couple of different sizes of these. One of them got a little bit dull last time I was doing signs, so I just changed to a different one. And look, it doesn't matter how fat or skinny it is. We only use the end, the 1.75 millimetre end here. And the with the because that's how deep, you know, we go through the aluminium, 1.75 mil. And anyway, one went blunt on me, and I thought not to worry. I've got a D-bit grinder over here that I sharpen lathe tools and things like that on it. I can actually put an edge on carbide even, it seems to work. I do have a little, I've put a diamond cup stone on there, and the diamond seems to not worry about the carbide too much. It just seems to, you can actually see a nice sharp edge there. And so what I did, I put it in the tool grinder, set it up, you know, by eye, you know, looky, and put him down against the stone, and I got the relief angle right, and I got the 60 degrees, so I could just bring it back and forth and just bring this back edge in a bit, so we had a slightly newer front edge there. So I did that, and look, I nearly had a sore back from patting myself on it. I thought I'd done such a good job. But anyway, I did a shit job. I have no idea why, but I actually made it worse. And even though you can actually get a magnifying glass and you can look at the edge, and the edge is good, yeah, this one here, and I tried, I sharpened a couple, and I had one I didn't sharpen, and yeah, I had a look at that, and what it does, and this is a sign of a blunt tool, you can see the burr there. So you haven't got the clean edge anymore, you've got a burr. Now, I can run along that burr with a chisel or a Stanley knife or something like that and just peel it off, but I've just got to do it. But it's far easier when you haven't got to do that. Now, normally with the good sign there, it may leave a very slight burr, but I can just get a piece of rag and just rub across the top, and the burr's that slight that any burr just disappears. Now, this here, I did try on one of the other ones with a little Scotch-Brite pad and just try and run that there, but if you don't get it exactly level and you touch the white comes off and you can see the silver alloy under the white. The white's very thin. But talking to Big Bad Laurie yesterday, and he reckons he wouldn't be buggering around, he just put that, because that's only got to go on the fence of the go-kart track. And look, from a car, you'll see that no worries. So anyway, I'll decide whether I do that or not, but yeah, it was just interesting that it looked like I was sharpening it better, and that 60 degrees, like if I got that at bloody 70 or, you know, I've done beautiful signs in wood and that with a 90 degree, and it just, you know, the CNC, the program's that smart that it knows how to do it, smarter than the bloke bloody using it when I'm operating. But yeah, so I don't know what I've done. This is going at 20,000 RPM. I want to say 100 inches a minute, but look, I might be wrong there. But the thing was, like, half a dozen signs before it was leaving this, at that setting it was leaving this, and now it's just that. So I had a couple of holes, these holes in the middle, a couple of holes there, those ones, and on these sheets are a bit wider than my waste board, my spoil board, and so I put these holes here, and then I put screws down there just to hold the centre down so it's nice and flat, because I can't clamp the outer edge, which it doesn't matter, like it does hold it nicely. But when I was doing the tool path for the lettering, and this around here, I hadn't noticed that I'd swiped the mouse over the holes too. And then I had a screw here, and one of my tools come in and oh, near shit. I thought, what's going on there? And look, all it did was I had to then try and get the screw out with no Phillips head guts in it, with a pair of pliers and that to get it out. But being a carbide tool, I couldn't actually see where it had damaged the tool, and later on when it was doing its run around, it was pretty good, you know, very slight burr. But then, yeah, that last sign, and the sign that went shit, it was about 6 o'clock of a night, and it was time to go up the house, and so I just left it run overnight, and I come back the next morning and the whole sign was burred. So anyway, I'm going to order some new ones of these, and I'm going to fiddle around with them. Like, yeah, that relief angle there, you know, with the tool grinder you can set it this way, you can set it that way, you can set it, you know, you've got 3 different compounds where you can adjust things to get what you want. So, yeah, so I'm not sure what I've done wrong there. I just thought if I left that straight cutting edge, like the top there, like I've always done, and just brought the back out a little bit, well, that'd just bring the sharp edge in a little bit. And yeah, look, unless bringing it in that little bit, I've made it that much smaller, and so I need to whop the speed up to 22,000 RPM, because it looks like, with that burr there, it looks like the tip is travelling too fast to clean it off properly, maybe. So perhaps I've taken that 60-degree tip, and look, there's a fair chance I had to take them 0.4 of a millimetre, some of them, But then because you're taking the tip here off, well, you'd think it'd just, and you have to set your zero each time, so you don't think it'd matter. But who knows? I've buggered something up. Not to worry. We'll see how we go with all that. The main focus, I've got to spend the afternoon on office work now. We have been getting quite a few exhibitor registrations for the rally, and I want to get that up to date. We've got just a general meeting on Sunday afternoon, and then brother-in-law's up from down south, so we're having dinner with him Sunday evening. We are looking at actually changing venues of where we're having the meetings. Like we've had it at the Pensioners League Hall in town there. Look, it must be a few years now. I'm not sure how long. And what the deal was, they didn't charge us for the room, but at the end of the meeting, they put on scones and cups of tea and coffee. Just packet coffee. Just instant coffee and tea bags and that. And we'd pay $5 and you could have a scone and a cuppa. And that's where they got their money. And anyway, we've got an email from them now saying that they've noticed that some of the members aren't having the cups of coffee and the scone. Well, some members might be gluten intolerant or something like that. But it wasn't that all members had to, but anyway, what it works out is they have trouble, because we have it Sunday afternoon, they have trouble getting volunteers to man it and do the cuppas for us, but they could have just said that. So they've sent us an email now saying that every member that turns up has to pay $5. It goes to them, and we have a lucky door prize. Jean, one of our senior members, well, she turned 80 last year, but she's racing around, going well, like a bloody teenager. Don't you tell her that. But yeah, she has the lucky door prize as you go in. So we usually keep $5 for Jean for a lucky door prize, and there's 4 or 5 draws, and you can get a box of chocolates, or I've done up a couple of Ferguson boards, and a couple of boards I've done with the CNC, with the laser, with the club logo on it, and just little things like that. It's just a little gift, and the club often makes, look, $130, $100, something like that. So we keep $5 for Jean, and now these ladies want $5. So if we get, say, 30 members to a meeting, which is not uncommon for our club, that means $150 the members are paying. You can have a scone though, but if you don't want a scone, you still got to pay your $5. And so that means $150 for 2 hours. Usually they're there for about let's say 3 hours, be generous and go 3 hours. So 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, which is never that. So anyway, so I don't think that's all that reasonable. So we did have a meeting recently in the Veterans Hall, like the Army, the Services Veterans have it's like a get-together place where there's a barbecue and a bar, and you can have meetings and things like that there. So they had offered us to go there, and we nearly went, but then we thought, oh, well, why change for the sake of change? The Pensioners Hall League's been looking after us, so we'll stay there. So, but now we've sent them an email to say, well, can we come? And look, it's pretty good because our meetings are at 1 p.m. Sunday arvos at the Veterans Drop-In Centre. They have a 12 o'clock barbecue for their members, and we're welcome to become part of it. And then they have meat raffles, and then at 1 o'clock we could have the meeting room out the back, and it's got a PA and carpet, and it's a nice room, and we can have that to have our meeting in. And then if we finish the meeting early, their bar, they have a licence with their bar to close at 3 o'clock. So after the meeting, you can pop out and have a chat to your old mate Bill and have a snappy one if you want to, if you haven't got to drive too far. So we might be doing that. And they said we could have a meeting there, and there must be like an I'm not sure the proper terminology, but the Air Force vets, in the air wings and that, they have meetings there once a month, and they said, oh yeah, it's great. They said it raises money for the club, and they make an $150 donation every year. So I was thinking $150. Anyway, we can certainly do better than that. And the same group of veterans, not the Air Force ones, the ones running the drop-in centre, they've offered to come to our rally and man the gate for us, as in sell tickets as people come in, sell admittance. And it's $10 for full paying patrons, and if you have a concession, your pension, you're under 15, under 17, 15 I think it is, student, anything like that, away you go, $5. But that's things like, and the things that give you the shits, I could write a book on what pisses me off. Yeah, look, for nearly 12 months now, we've had brochures sorted out and ready to go, and we had that there, but one of the last meetings, they said, well, you haven't got students on there. So the club looks at it, the committee meeting looks at it, and we get them all done, and then the next thing these people pop up and say, well, what about students? You haven't got students. Well, it's too late once we've had the bloody things printed, isn't it? I don't know. And the same with the exhibitor forms. The exhibitor forms, we just put, how many engines you're going to bring. And but now we're in strife. And that same thing, the forms. I took the forms to meeting after meeting, and I took them to committee meetings, and everyone say, yeah, looks good, and didn't really read them. And now we've had members come back and say, well, you haven't got how many metres you need along the fence, which has never been a thing for us, never ever. If I put 3 engines here, well, you can come and put your 3 next to mine if you want to, and if you take up a bit of extra room because you've got a big one or I've got a small, it just doesn't matter. You just keep tacking on until it's full, and we've got room for extra compounds. So we're going to have 3 engine compounds by the look of things. So, but they're the things, like those forms, I went to meeting after meeting, everyone said, yeah, good, now we've got complaints about them. So I don't know. A couple of things we did get wrong were the early exhibitor meetings, the council wouldn't budge on camping for us. And for powered sites, we had to charge $25 a night as per council rules. But I went and negotiated with the council, and now we're offering exhibitors $10 for the whole weekend. But the first forms we sent out, we did 2 mistakes on them. Well, not mistakes, but we renegotiated the terms, so now we can offer $10, but the clubs put the first lot of forms out. We've sent the new forms with all the new stuff out, but a lot of the clubs haven't bothered sending them out. They've thought, oh, well, everyone's got them. And we've had 3 groups of people so far pay $75 for 3 nights. So I've had to ring them up and say, look, I've got good news. It's $10, and when we see you, we'll give you $65 back. So that's a good thing. And the other thing that I stuffed up was the very first form, it had RCVMC for Rum City Vintage Machinery Club at yahoo.com, and I should have had .com.au, and a couple of people rang me because I put my phone number and their email and that on most things, and on the introductory letter I had .com.au, but on the bottom of the exhibitor form we had .com. So a couple of people rang and said, I'm having trouble putting the form through, and I said, look, we know about that, you should have a new form by now, but just send it to .au, and that's fixed it up. So we're going good. So we've got young Tim as a safety officer for the tractor pulling the tractors. He's a young bloke, open mind, works with tractors for a living. He owns his own businesses with people on tractors, so that's looking good. So it's coming together. A lot of work going on with it. I was out last Sunday putting up some more Corflue signs, and we've just got permission from Godfrey near his wood stall and veggie stall that we can have one there. Out of the 20 Corflues, we've got 8 left, and the young lads are taking some down to Mungar, and I'll take some up to Billawheeler. We're heading up to Billow. I think that's the weekend of the 19th and 20th of July. Jude and myself we're going to take the John Deere 420 this time. I've taken Fergies everywhere for so bloody long. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I'm going to enjoy the change. And my little farm hall there, well, I tell you what, the little nooks and crannies and that for shit on that tractor, I reckon I could have two grey Fergies painted in the time it'd taken me to do that. I got guards off them up around little areas and foot plates, and they've got like a false floor in them in the front, and I've had to clean all that. But anyway, I am enjoying it, but I like a whinge. We'll see how we go. But look, that's it. Sorry the stew's a bit late, but Kempy won't have to watch the current affair tonight. He'll be right. He was talking to him last night, and what's he going to watch? I haven't done my stew. And I was, oh, current affair. Well, that didn't sound like a good option. But anyway, look, I'll go handheld. I'll just show you what I've done with the tractor. It's jack shit to look at. I'll show you the little tool grinder that I've been sharpening the things on. I think you know what they are, but anyway, I'll just show you anyway. I don't think I'll show you the floor this week. Where I was cutting the square for the signs, because it was raining, I cut it inside here. Well, I got all this little black sawdust everywhere, and now it's windy, it's blowing everywhere, so I'm just going to let it go for a bit. Then once I wash the bay for the tractor here, I'll try and do the extended pressure clean out to tidy it up. But anyway, all right, look, that's it. Thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you all next week, and yeah, I'll just do a quick little walk around for you. Okay, here's our little tool grinder, and you can see the tool goes in there, and we can adjust all the angles and all that. I've just got that sitting loose for the demonstration, and that sits in there, and will that help? See? Yep. And once the diamond wheel here is going and you got the angle right, you can just bring that back and forth and sharpen it. Then you can pop this, see that's on 180 there now. I can pop this out, whoops, come round to 0, lock that in, and so I know I'm exactly 180 from the previous edge. So it's got all these compounds there, so yeah, you just fire him up, and then the wheel, this little wheel here, it travels back and forth. And once you get it just touching, well, you can just go back and forth. And to know that you're on the right one, you have a vernier scale here, and if you come to the whatever number you come to there, I can go to that number again, so I know that it's even both sides. So anyway, that's what I did with it. I tried to copy the relief angle here and get that right, and yeah, I don't know, something's bloody wrong, probably the operator. Yeah, up there, that's a bit of a mess. I wasn't going to show you the floor, was I? But yeah, dirt on the floor everywhere, dirt on the bench where I've been bloody panel beating and buggering around. Up through here in the glary sunlight, I've got the bonnet where I've just bogged a couple of dents it had, guards, things like that in the sun. God, that's bloody glary out there. When we come over to the tractor, oh, this is a mess that I'm not showing you. All through there where I've been cutting that stuff. The kids sit in that lift and sling and lift themselves up and down. Good toy. Then over here, I'm hoping I've got to clean up under, right up in under here, under the floor and that, and under the dip. I haven't done that yet. I've got to put the left-hand final drive together. I'm in the process of pulling the dash out. I've got the pipes. I've got new gaskets and all in through here for the pipes. I had them off to split the tractor. I split the tractor through here to do the throw-out bearing. I've done all that. I've got the front axle all back in pivoting like that. This kingpin's loose as anything. The other one's just a little bit tighter, but I haven't done kingpin bearings because I couldn't find movement. When I come around the back here, I've got all the fan in. That was a job through the week. I actually re-bearing that. It has new bearings in there. And I got the manifold all bolted up. So, yeah, it's a bit dark here because I've got the wind blocked out. But, yeah, a little bit of clean up, like that foot plate and the pedals and all that, where that double panel will go. Once I've got that done, the final drive assembled and the dash done, we can start blowing a bit of paint around, which yeah, certainly looking forward to that.